Hey everyone, it's me, Danielle, and I thought I would pop on today and talk a little bit about grief. Um, Yesterday was my dad's birthday, and he has been gone for, I don't, 6 or 7 years now. Um, and initially, of course, I was so, grieving. And I remember, so people have always told me, like, I have a really big aura and it's this, like, indigo blue color. But during this time after my dad passed, um, my aura actually turned gray, it changed color, and I was very depressed. And I actually saw a picture of my face recently, um, really soon after he passed, and you could see it in my eyes, like totally different look. So grief is very real, very, it's a hard thing to go through. Um, that being said, I started noticing soon after my dad passed that he would come around and he would always play songs on the jukebox. At first, I didn't realize it was him because I would hear a song and go, "Oh, this song makes me think of him because it's one of his favorite songs." And especially at this one restaurant in town where there's a jukebox, he would, um, so the songs would come on, and I would think, well, my dad liked this song, but it's a popular song and anyone could have picked it. It doesn't mean it was him. But one time I was sitting there and it was a string of songs playing, and they're popular songs. But in the middle of it all, a song came on, and I remember that when he was alive, he told me that it was his absolute favorite song. It's Long Tall Woman in a Black Dress by the Hollies. And when that one came on, and it was in the middle of all these other songs that I knew to be his favorite songs, I said to my daughter, I feel like my dad just took over the jukebox. And she said he did. He's like sitting here with us. And I guess he kind of learned that if it's a popular song that he puts on, then I might think that somebody else is playing it. But if it's a more obscure song that he puts on, and I know he likes that song, then I start thinking, well, I think my dad's here. So for a while, every time I showed up to the same restaurant, Long Tall Woman in a Black Dress would come on by the Hollies. But he began switching it up and playing some Dire Straits, which nobody in the world would put on. And what was the other one? Oh, Elton John, Banny and the Jets, and things like that. Anyway, uh, he would do that all the time. So all these years go by, and I would pour. Sometimes I'd buy a Budweiser, a can of Budweiser for my dad, and I would open it and leave it out for him. Now, I'm gonna just let you know that just because somebody is not in their physical body doesn't mean they don't still enjoy things that they liked when they were here. So if you've got a relative that has passed on, no matter what it is they like to drink, you could pour them a cup because it may or may not dissolve, look like it's going down. You'll have to pay attention and see if you notice any of that. But what my daughter says is what's happening is on their end, they can drink it, and it's like a cup that keeps refilling itself, which is kind of cool if it's your favorite drink. So I have often bought my dad a beer and opened it, or my friend who passed, I'll get her really bad, yucky wine that she liked and pour her a glass, and we'll watch movies together. Um, so I just wanted to let you know, and even like my golem, he liked apple juice. The fairies like sweet cocktails. They like to party. So we do pour out drinks for our friends and family in other dimensions. So last January, I went to see Michael Shaman, and he had said that it was kind of time for my dad maybe to move on to the light because he was living off energy from my brother and I. And I was like, well, if he's not ready to go, I don't mind. Don't, we're not pushing my dad. Um, so I guess my dad had come to the idea that it was his time as well. And so during my appointment in January, I actually saw my dad walk into the light, and he looked back and he waved, and it was tearful, and I was crying, and and all this, thinking I wouldn't see him for a really long time. But 30 seconds later, Michael Shaman said, "Oh, he's back already." And I was like, there's no way that he did his life review and is back already. Well, he did, and it was fast to me because I'm here on linear time, but where he is, there is no linear time. So it's pretty instantaneous, I guess. So I thought that was really funny how we had this little tearful bye because I might not see him for a while, and there he was. So, anyways, yesterday was his birthday. I bought the Budweiser, cracked one open for him. He played a song in my car when after I bought the six pack, Hotel California by the Eagles, and my daughter and I were hanging out, and she just sees better than I do, actually. And she said he was laughing at us and drinking and all that, and she kept drinking all his beers. And I was like, she would get up and grab another one and say, "This one's for Papa." And I'm like, how many of Papa's beers are you going to drink? You know, and say they're for him. And she's all, "Oh, he's still working on that one." Because, he's got one that just keeps filling up. So it was kind of fun yesterday that he was around. I did do a painting of him, and I'm going to share. Uh, this is actually a watercolor. So you see, it was taken in a bar, and I put his favorite color in the background, which was green. I actually have his eyes, so he has very blue eyes. Um, Funny enough, when I was in college many, many, many years ago, he asked me when he passed to do a painting of him, and he wanted some of his ashes in the paint. And I thought that was so creepy and horrible. But here I am all these years later, and I'm a tattoo artist, and people come in and they ask us to sometimes sprinkle some of the ashes of their loved ones into the ink, and we tattoo them. I know that might sound weird, but hey, we're grieving. Everybody grieves. I don't think anyone gets out of this place alive, so everyone's going to grieve at some point. And what if it helps somebody, if it's cathartic, um, we don't mind. Anyways, I did do that. I did put a little bit of ashes into his painting, like he asked me to do, I don't know, 30 plus years ago. So this morning I wake up and I can still feel that he's here. He's hanging out still. I mean, his beer's still sitting there. So anyway, I asked if I could look at whether he merged with his higher self and what that might look like. And I got a yes. So this morning I closed my eyes and asked my guides, my higher self, I open a circle and I ask that they help me connect with him and invite him in the circle and have a little look-see at his higher self. And so what I saw, I'm going to show you. I didn't draw it, and I'm going to tell you why is because I'll show you. Because I saw that his higher self, the version it looks like, is a green dragon. And it's hilarious because green is his favorite color. It's always been his favorite color. But also, I'm dragon lineage. I know this. And I have a dragon that stays with me all the time. And my dragon actually changes colors. There's a lot of people that identify with a certain particular color of dragon. Um, and I don't know what all that's about. I have never kind of looked into it. But my dad is a green dragon. And my brother also has a dragon, and his dragon is also green. So it's kind of interesting. Mine changes color with his mood. So when he's really angry, which the first time I saw him, he was angry, he's red. And he had these like fins on the side of his head that came out, and those were yellow. But when he's sleeping and chill and calm, he's blue. He's mostly blue to me. But he can be, a little purple, a little green, and all that. So, anyways, I don't really need to draw a dragon because they're already like on the internet. This is just a search of green dragons. They're everywhere. there's a lot of artwork with dragons. And to be quite honest, it's a lot of work drawing a dragon. They have a lot of scales and a lot of little horns and spikes and this, that, and the other. So I'm happy with just having, the the references I can look up online. Like, look at there's so many green dragon, green dragon, green dragon. Anyway, I just thought I would share about that. He has merged with his higher self, and I'm not, I know that the higher self can just be a bigger energy than what we are in our bodies, and that we're just a small piece of our own higher self, and that it can just look like light or energy as well. I have a feeling that the reason why it might show itself as a dragon is because that would have been his like highest version of himself that he lived. You know what I mean? I think that's why my higher self has three different aspects. So I've got three that I think I've reached a certain level that is pretty high. But one of those three is a dragon hybrid. So I believe I was dragon and Arcturian mixed together. I was blue humanoid but with scales. Um, anyway, I just thought I would share about that. I I think, it's interesting to have gone through this process of many years of horrible grief and sadness and what that does, you know, to you physically, and then to start recognizing that your loved one is still there, they're giving you signs that they're there, and how happy that can make you to feel, and you can still hang out with them even though you miss them in the physical. You miss them, you miss being able to go to dinner together and hang out or whatever, but they're still there. And sometimes he has jumped in my dreams, and it's been just us shooting pool or us cruising around in an old car. Nothing nothing momentous, but it felt very real. um, so that was nice. And this learning process about him having gone into the light, how he can still come back out, and that he has not disappeared as an individual. He's still around. Anyways, I really, really hope that this helps somebody out there who might hear it. And there's so many different ways that loved ones try to show us that we're, that they're still with us. Um, I've heard so many. I mean, I want to say like 90% of my clients that come to me for tattoos are grieving, like recently lost somebody and are grieving and are really, really in that thick of processing their emotions. And of course, I'm an empath, so I feel it, but I try to just run healing energy for them and tattoo them and listen to them talking about their loved one, and kind of helping them identify how their loved one may still be trying to communicate with them and contact them and let them know that they're there. Everybody has their different things. Like some people think it's butterflies, some think it's a song on the radio, some get the flashing lights or see orbs, or what I mean. There's like they smell. There's so many ways that people can still feel like their loved ones around. And it's always very interesting to sort of hear that and sort of confirm for them that is true, that it's real, and it's really happening for them. So I don't think it's an accident that so many of my clients are grieving. I think it's, you know, maybe spirit is intervening in a way and putting my website into their search so that they come to me. Anyway, I just wanted to share about that. I think it's an important thing that we all have to go through at some point, and I hope that this helps. And I'd love to hear if anyone has comments to add below about how they recognize that their loved one is around. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day.